Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. Today's video is an update for my Pan That palette using these two bad boys. It is like a Pan That palette, a monthly rolling in of palettes and a single shadow. But anyway, if you're interested in seeing how I did this time, then just keep watching. Okay guys, I think you know the drill by now. We're going to start with my Modern Renaissance palette and my god, I'm happy. I hit my goals that I set for myself this month. First off, we'll start with the weights. So the last time I was 182 grams. I am now 180. Finally. Because my scales does not do it at a decimal point. So I'll show you where I was the last time on the screen. My goal was to use the three neutral shades on the left. So Golden Ochre, Raw Sienna and Burnt Orange. I think it was 2 or 3 times. And then on the top row, Vermeer, the shimmer, my goal was to clear out a corner. Any corner, it did not matter. Yes, look at that. I don't know if it's very obvious to you the difference, but I shall go through it with you. Okay, so I'm gonna scoot over. I hope I'm scooting over enough, but let me put gonna go through the uses. I have my palette here and I have my uses here. So let's start at the very top. So the first shade that we have here is Golden Ochre. I used it 3 times like we said we needed to do. Vermeer, I used that 12 times. So my goal was to clear out a corner. I ended up clearing out half the pan. You go girl, you go. What is You Go Glen Coco? Where is the Glen Coco from? Anyway, Bon Fresco. I don't know if you can see from there, but there is a big dip in it now. I used it 5, 10, 15, 20, 24 times. What? I'm going to try and hold this up. I don't know if this is of help to you, but there is a dip in Bon Fresco. How do I not have pan in it yet? This shade looks awfully lot like a bruise on me. I would not repurchase that shade again. It's just... whatever way it is with my skin tone, it does look like a bruise. Laura here on YouTube suggested using it in here as a kind of a contour, and it does actually work for that. So the next shade, Antique Bronze, I used 3 times. Love Letter, the pinky one, I used 3 times. Cypress Umber, I only used the 1 time. Next row, Raw Sienna, I used 5 times, so I used it more than I needed to. Burnt Orange, 3 times. Now, have you seen or have you noticed? Primavera is an empty panule, and I used it 12 times more to hit pan to finish it. So I had used it 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 34 more times in total basically to finish that pan. Lads, Primavera is really lovely as a highlighter shade, but it is intense, but it's really nice as a highlighter. On my skin tone anyway, and probably a little bit deeper than mine. Red Ochre, I used that 4 times. Venetian Red I used twice. Warm Taupe I used, God, 5, 10, 15, 20 times. Doesn't look much different for 20 times. I think because I had like such a weirdly shaped pan, it's now starting to get a little bit like flat there. And then Realgar, I only used the 1 time, but who cares? So basically we finished Primavera. We used half of Vermeer instead of like a quarter. We hit our monthly goals. And we're happy with that. Well, I'm happy with that. On to the next palette, on to the next one. Subculture time. Let's get the weights. Okay, so we went from 194 grams down to 193. Finally, it's so disheartening when the weights don't reflect. But anyway, I'll put up on the screen where I was. So my goal for this palette this month was to use Adorn 5 times, and that is the shimmery coppery gold shade on the top row. And then on the second row, the very first shade on the left, Roxy, I wanted to use that 5 times. Roxanne! Okay, so let's see where I am now. Do you see it? Look to the top of the row. Look, you see that? There you go. Pannual! Juicy Lucy Pan. You will. Okay, let's get to the uses. Right, I'm still out of the way, hopefully. This is my first Pan That palette update in the new house. So anyway, let's get to the uses and just let you know what's been going down here. Probably not much, but still. Right, Dawn. I used Dawn the 1 time. Destiny is the greeny one. I used that twice. What is next? Adorn. This is the one where we hit Juicy Pannual. I was feeling like I was not going to hit any goals on this month, so I'm really happy. Adorn, I used it 8 more times to hit that pan. I love that shade. I love it, but I hate making myself wear the same thing over and over because I'm at home much more than I ordinarily would be. It's like I'm getting the opportunity to wear loads of colour. So, you know, anyway, look. All Star, I used 4 times. Mercury, I don't think I did. I used Mercury twice this time. Axis, 3 more times. Next row, Roxy. So my goal was to use that 5 times. I used it 12 times. I am proud. I am proud. I find it so hard to wear makeup while I'm at home, so I am proud. Guys, this shade is actually quite nice as a blush. I saw someone else, under someone else's Project Pan update. Who was doing this? Was it Hayley? I think it was Hayley, or else it was Laura, suggested using it as a blush, and I was like, I'd try that. I'll try. And it's actually quite nice. Anyway, Electric, I used the 1 time, that time being today. I actually really like that Electric shade. It is a flaky formula, but I like the colour. Fudge, I used it once. New Wave, I used 4 times. Love New Wave. Untamed, I used twice. Edge, I didn't use Edge. And Rowdy, I used Rowdy the 1 time. Onto my single shadow. And then the rolling palette, then the rolling palettes, and then my goals of the new, I don't know. Onto my single. So I rolled in a matte single the last time. I'll put a picture there. Please God, I have a picture of what it looked like. It had a little bit of a dip, but no pan at that time. No pannual. However, now, come on camera, show them. Like, look at that juiciness. It's just, I love getting used to my singles. Like, it's like bittersweet though, because I'm running out of matte cream singles. But anyway, that's how many times did I use that? 5, 10, 15, 23 times. What? That's not like me at all. 5, 10, 15, 16, 17. Sorry, 17 times. But like, can you see that? I think that's wonderful. I'm so happy with that. Does the job perfectly. This is a Makeup Revolution single that I depotted. Now, that is that part of my video. Now we're on to the section of the video where I have like palettes that I work on for the month, and if I have any looks, I show them to you at this time. I've never done timestamps before, but I will try and leave them down below. I don't know what good it is saying at this point. But let's start with that part, shall we? So I'm rolling the 2 of these out anyway. So the first one I had pulled in here was the Nabla Cutie the Cutie palette in Platinum. This is my one and only Nabla palette. And guys, sorry, I can come back now. This is beautiful. This is so beautiful. This is quite unique to anything that I own in formula. Are there singles like this? Are all there other palettes like this? Like, to be quite honest, they're bigger palettes. The color story didn't really speak to me, so I was glad that I found one. So this formula is thinner. Like, it's very pigmented. Let me just give you a little swatch of my favorite shade in here. Bet you all thought this was my favorite shade. I know, who am I? So anyway, like, there is it swatched there, and like, look at how pigmented, and on the eye it is applied so nicely with your finger, so you don't even need a brush, girl. You go right in there with your finger and it's like bam. It is really like bam, but it's thin. It's like, that's not a bad thing. That's not a bad thing at all. It's not even a pro or a con, it's just an observation, because everything else I have is like quite thick in texture. This is really, really thin, and that goes for pretty much all of them. Well, no, this one up here is much more like creamy and thick than what we're used to seeing. And it's such a sexy kind of a shade. I don't know, is that word okay to say here on the tube? But like, it's factual. It's like, you know, you'd be like, oh, that's kind of boring, but it's not. It's not boring. That is kind of what I just said. I hate that word. What is it? But like, is there another word we can use that means that word? Anyway, that is fantastic. The matte shades are quite nice as well. Nothing unique about the matte shades that I noticed. It was just smooth and matte, but it was really smooth and matte. There's the shade that I always like, which is Priceless. I always love those shades, but it wasn't unique to my collection, and I do have a very picky taste with those shades. Obviously, I'm panning Adorn, so I didn't really use that as much. But for a small itty bitty palette, and it's often on sale on Beauty Bay, it's actually you know, it filled a gap in my collection of cool tones and I really like it. I'm so happy I got to play with something that's new. And I'm hoping that there is looks up here. This one I didn't really use as much and I'm still rolling it out because I want to roll something in for Christmas. This is the Dandelions Co indie brand. Daniel! So he's on Instagram. I link everything I talk about down below. But he also has his own website now. He used to have Etsy. Now I am terrified because this fell during the month. This is the palette here. I have it just full of singles. I do have 2 of his highlighters. Let me just, what am I doing? I moved my palettes around. So I have 2 of his highlighters. They're absolutely beautiful. Look, I haven't used any of these shades really this month because I was overwhelmed at eyeshadows. However, I did use this one here. It's on my inner corner. It's in the shade. Well, the spelling of this shade is Irish, but obviously I don't know if that was the intent here, but this is an Irish name in Ireland and it says, it's like we usually have a fada over the A and it's called, in Ireland we pronounce that Anya. I have heard Americans pronounce this word as Ain. So I don't know what was the intent here, but just in terms of in Ireland we pronounce that word Anya because it is an Oscuelga name. It is a duochrome green. It's a unique shade. It's so pretty. I have it as a, ooh, don't die. I have it on my inner corner. Stunning, lads. It's just stunning. Look at it there. Like if you, I haven't tried Dahlia because it was out of stock when I went to order, but I really like this. They break really easily. So like, well done to Daniel for getting that to Ireland. All in one piece. The highlighters I really enjoyed. I preferred this one over here. So I used those as well. This one is called Higher Power. He said this is the first thing that he created, which were highlighters. I liked this highlighter. I actually used it quite a bit, to be quite honest with you. Like accidentally, I wasn't even trying to, just kept pulling it out. Can you see it? Like, it's just a nice shade. And it's not, when you put it on, you're not like, oh my God, that's groundbreaking. What you find is, or what I found is, it was just something I just kept putting on. The other shades I haven't used yet because I was shade overwhelmed, but I'm putting it away because I want to roll something else in. And I think when you see what I roll in, you're going to totally understand and agree with me. I know it. This is my Clionadh Cosmetics little itty bitty palette. Lads, magnetic palettes are so hard to get in Ireland. Like, what is the deal with things being not accessible? I went onto Amazon because I wanted a smaller one and this was the only one that I could find. Are you serious? Like, come on, get with it. So anyway, look at that. Okay, so Elaine gave me these 2 as a gift. And I'll link her up here. I love her, Canadian YouTuber. And these 3 on the top, I purchased through Elaine because to ship it to Ireland would have cost a mortgage. And after going through that process once, I can safely say 10 out of 10 do not recommend that process during a pandemic. Right, let's pull them out. And ordinarily I wouldn't do this, but like, we just have to. I'm so excited to use them. Someone suggested a mirror, don't know, might try whatever that might be. This one here, this is in the shade Kiln. 1.5 grams, how unique, multi-chrome. It's like purple, red, gold, green? Red, gold, green. Let's swatch it. Oh, it even feels juicy. This costs a lot of money. So it's looking, we'll just swatch them all here and then I'll try to do the mirror thing. It's looking very red for you, but for me it's like green. Like, what is this problem? Let me just swatch them all anyway. This palette is quite good magnetic wise. This next one here is in Vermilion. I wanna be a millionaire so freaking bad. Like a peach gold green. Like, I wish that the camera, like, what's the camera's problem? Why won't it like behave? Okay, and this last multi-chrome is in the shade Burnt Sienna. Burnt Sienna. Oh, I can't wait to put them on my eye. I hope they're exactly like what people are. Like, I've never been so impressed from just a swatch from any shadow ever in my entire shadow life. So here are the swatches here. Like, I'm looking in the viewfinder to try to see what you see. Now, what was the suggestion about a mirror? Can you see? Like, I don't understand. Whoever so kindly suggested, oh, will someone tell me, am I doing what to do? Like, there has to be an easier way to do this. Oh my God. Is that it? Is that helpful? I don't know. Appreciate any advice here. But anyway, they are the 3 multi-chromes. So, and then this shade here that I got from Elaine as a gift is in the shade Climate Change. I don't know what line that's from, but it's not a multi-chrome, it's a regular. 1.7 grams. Oh, it feels nice and wet. It's kind of a thicker texture. Like it's thicker. We're back to the thick that we're used to. I'd say this is probably more of a shimmer. Like, sorry, I beg your pardon. I'd say that's a satin shade versus anything else. And then this highlighter is in the shade Fuse. Yes. This is a duochrome pinky highlighter, and well, it says eyes, lips and face. There's 3 grams in it. You can do whatever you like. I've just been using it as a highlighter. This is a really thin formula. It's not like anything I own either. Yes, can you see? So pretty. So we're going to pull that in for the month. That's what that looks like here. It's my Clionadh Cosmetics experience, and I can't wait to use this. You know, it's nice to mix something new and something not new together. Now back to these. I just want to tell you what my goals are. I'm going to try finish this by the finale. What do you think? Is that doable? I don't know. Doable. And then again, I struggle. Like I'm going to, yes, finish this. I'm going to put emphasis on this. I can't use that more than 20 something times and still not hit pan, but I really want to hit pan on that. So that's my goal for this palette. Finish and potentially hit pan and Bon Fresco. And then for Subculture, what's reasonably achievable? I think that I want to put more emphasis again on Roxy because we're kind of close, and New Wave. So I'm going to say 5 and 5, like at the very minimum 5 and 5. Okay. And then we're going to work away on both shimmers. Both shimmers. So that is my update. I know what I'm doing next year in relation to eyeshadows. God, I know what I'm doing next year in relation to eyeshadows. So if you enjoyed this, please do subscribe. It's so helpful. Let me know how your week is going, and I'll see you the next time. Take care. Bye.